Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of W Talk. It is the edition dated Friday, April 2nd, 2021. My name is Kong Yu, with you in the studios of Traxx FM for the show today. And yes, it is the day after the official commemoration of the RTM 75th anniversary, as well as in line with that, RTM Orchestra RTM, depending on how you say it, 60th year in existence, right? So we're going to zoom into this particular angle for today, and we're also going to talk about music, and especially so women's playing in an orchestra, as well as women in music in general. Yeah. So we have also gone live on Facebook as we speak. So just a little bit of advertisement here. So if you'd like to join us on Facebook, we have gone live at Traxx FM Official. Right, do join us there for our live feed today, as well as our special feature on W Talk for today. Yeah? So let me quickly introduce my two special guests today, two lovely ladies who are with Orchestra RTM, ORTM. They are Intan Rahayu as well as Michelle Kong, who are both, I believe, violinists with the orchestra. Yeah? Ladies, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, thanks for coming into the studios of Traxx FM. And also to share this little discussion, to find out more about you guys. Also to celebrate not just RTM 75th, but the orchestra's 60th birthday. And then also to find out more about your participation in music, how it is. And also to encourage, hopefully, those females out there in particular who do aspire to be professional musicians, particularly with I guess you can call it a classical instrument, although you play it in various different ways and all that, how to actually hopefully go on this particular path, right? So thank you so much to Michelle as well as to Intan for joining me. If you have a question for either Intan, Michelle, myself, or you have a comment, feel free to also type into the comment section of our Facebook live feed. We are live right now already, so do join us there at Traxx FM Official also, okay? So a little bit of introduction, I was talking about that, right? Introduce yourself. Intan, Michelle, take it away.
Hi, I'm Intan. So I've been working in the orchestra about almost 18 years now, I think. Yeah, it's been a very good experience here.
Okay. And you are a violinist.
I'm a violinist.
Okay, and Michelle, you're a violinist as well?
Yes, I'm a violinist.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, I started with RTM, Orchestra RTM, since I was 17, which is in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been like almost 18 years.
Okay. Well, congratulations, right?
Yeah, we almost the same batch.
Almost
we came in together.
And you're still together.
Yes, we are.
We're good friends.
Yeah, yesterday we celebrated the orchestra's 60th year in existence as well. It's when you really put it into perspective, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, we've had like the Philharmonic Orchestra of Petronas, right? That came up, I believe it was in the mid-90s, I believe. But that's putting it into perspective. I mean, we're talking about that compared to 60 years of ORTM, right? As you guys refer to the orchestra as that, right? Okay, so that's quite amazing, and also for you both ladies as well to have carved out still ongoing career with the orchestra for quite a number of years also is warrants like a celebration. Did you guys celebrate not?
Yeah. Of course we do.
Counting down all days.
Counting up.
Counting up.
Counting up, right? So, okay, I believe yesterday, of course, you played at the special launch ceremony of our RTM 75th, and then you also have a special show that's going on in conjunction with your 60th birthday, right?
Yeah,
yes.
It will be on this Saturday, which is a live show, 75 minutes non-stop.
Yeah, not even one commercials.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
in conjunction with the 75 years of anniversary. And then it will be on TV2 at 9 p.m.
So do catch that, 75 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Right, I think obviously because it's going to be broadcasted on TV2, that will be the duration that is going to go live as well, non-stop for music. It's going to be a 75 minutes medley, or will it still have breaks? The song starts and stops in between.
Yeah, we still have start and stop in between, but there's no commercial breaks.
Okay. Nice. I think that would be a lovely way to spend more, I wouldn't say traditional because I'm sure you all have some surprises in store with what you play, right? And that's going to be something that we can talk about as well, yeah? Let's talk about you both as violinists and musicians. Okay, where did it start? You joined Michelle, the orchestra, when you were 17, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when did you start playing the violin?
I started playing the violin when I was 5 back then. So I do join some of the amateur orchestra when I was young. I started joining amateur orchestra when the first amateur orchestra is in 1995.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, I just involved myself in the industry, and then by the time I'm just a kid, so I don't know anything about music. I just play along.
Right. Did you take basically you took up violin lessons because it was either the piano or the violin back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Only the violin. I only played the violin.
Nice.
So I joined a number of amateur orchestras, and then at the end of the day, someone offered me to come and join RTM Orchestra. So I just take the opportunity, and I don't know where RTM is that time.
most people be like, that building, the sharp pointed one.
Yeah, they say the one in the Federal Highway.
The irony thing is, I think it was used as was it ever used as a studio, Julie? The iconic RTM building.
They have studio there. Studio.
Used to, yeah. Of course, fast forward many years, a couple of decades later, they didn't lah. It became more of like administrative place, right? Yeah, but that is the iconic RTM building. So yeah, interesting. And then you audition, and you never, in a way, you've never looked back, lah. You just moved.
Yeah, I just moved lah.
Moved on and on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Interesting story there. Intan, how did you get started with the violin and music in general?
Yeah,
Similar story.
My father is a music lover. Was a music lover.
Okay.
He passed away. I started. I used to follow him to perform. He's actually a music teacher. So when I was 7, we have this small talent, like we can follow the melody from TV or radio, and we should send her to music school. So that's where I started.
Okay.
So at 7, he kind of pushed me to play a concert in his school. So I think that is the first experience I feel the engagement to performance. I think just a minor
And
experience.
anyway, so you were 7 years old then.
Yeah, 7 years old. And then, but when I was in high school, I didn't feel that music is a I can earn my life through music.
Right, you can make a career out of music.
Yeah, but I took different course before. So I took diploma in statistics, which I later on regretted.
Yeah, at least you can add things up and you would analyze data for the orchestra.
Oh yeah. And I later on I enrolled myself to degree in music in UITM. So I started piano as my first instrument, but we are allowed to choose second instrument during that time. So I chose piano because my father played violin as well. So I chose violin.
You chose violin.
Yeah.
Right.
That
was in UITM.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
very late actually for us because they all start very young age, but I started with piano.
That's interesting. So you have the piano, but you've known all this time that you'd rather play the violin?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
But in my hometown, it's a small town. We don't have a violin teacher there, so I had no choice.
You had there was no opportunity for you to take violin lessons until you went to UITM.
Yes.
After you did your course in statistics.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a good example of it's never too late.
Yep.
Essentially, right? So, and I think that's also a key message that we can share as well, if you've got a passion and you're really clear about it, right? There's no stopping you, and you can start it pretty much at any age, lah.
Yep.
Because people would say that you would have to be like in Michelle's case, play it as a child growing up to be really good at one particular instrument, right? But then how did you? Okay, so once you picked up the violin, you knew that this was your instrument, or did it take a couple of years to explore and try it out and all that?
Yeah, the way how you feel you attach to it. But personally, I think violin is a very hard instrument.
Yeah,
it is.
When we hear people practicing it, you can tell it's a difficult instrument to get the exact note. Yeah.
Yeah. But having an environment with musicians, so where you get inspired to do more. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's about passion.
Okay.
You will keep going and doing it. So
Okay.
until you get better.
Okay, that's good advice as well. When did you know that you're going to play the violin for a very, very long time?
Yeah.
When did you know that? Do you remember the moment?
Um.
Or was it just like we picked it up and then the more you played in UITM, the more you loved it and the more you wanted to continue?
I think it all started when I finished UITM and I joined orchestra. That is the real world. So because you don't see it that way when you were in school.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You don't know, okay, when am I going to perform?
Yeah,
Nowadays,
no.
so much more easier, isn't it? I mean, we talk about just music and even the recording industry is so different than back in those days. You know, as I knew it as well, it's just you have very few avenues. You only had like this way to become even maybe a professional musician, or if you wanted to be a solo artist, then you had to have a recording company sign you on.
Yeah.
It's so different these days. You can just self-publish, right? Just hop on YouTube or whatever social media and just play.
True.
Yep.
You know?
True. Yeah.
Right. So the platform, I guess, that Orchestra RTM had given is back then, especially, is super valuable, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So how has it been so far? Now let's move on to that. Right. Let's talk a bit about the functions of the orchestra as a whole for our listeners and also our viewers who may not be as familiar with Orchestra RTM. But they should be familiarized because you've been around for 60 years. Well, not the both of you, but the orchestra, right? Tell us a bit about the formality of the orchestra, what it serves to do, and other like regular minimum set performances, so on. Right, share with us. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, the function of orchestra in RTM lah. We assist on all music matters. So for radios, you have music channels and all these things. We do have programs on radios. Maybe not Traxx, on others.
Yeah, but like National FM,
National FM.
Classic FM, and
Okay.
So we have recording section on all these things, and then we assist in regionals as well. We have combos in regionals, not only in KL. KL we have orchestra, which is a bigger one, and then on concert wise, we do travel a lot, and then we give live music opportunities to others like out from KL, which don't have the chance to experience grand stage.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of the more meaningful parts of the job, right?
Yeah.
And so then you have to deconstruct the orchestra. You can't bring the whole group the whole time, right? You have to only choose selected members, or how does it work?
We
when you
usually
travel?
extend.
Wow.
We make it bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course some places which uses only combos.
Right.
Yeah, but in orchestra, like live music performance, which is live in TV. So we usually use the whole orchestra, which is like at least 50 piece and above.
Wow. Okay. And when you talk about combos, so then these will be like little mini groups amongst you guys. Like you all will be playing in a string quartet. If you ever had an opportunity to do that, or you
More on rhythm section.
with the violin.
No, without the violin.
yeah, because our motto is entertain, inspire, educate and inspire. So we collaborate with universities like
UPSI.
UPSI, UITM. So we to get more close to students, to inspire them to join the music industry later on. Yeah.
Right, and then you guys have to also provide the recordings for all the official symphonic / combo / etc. that's required by RTM overall.
And also jingles.
Jingles and so on, right?
Besides that, we produce CDs and books also. Some
Nice.
Yeah, so patriotic songs.
Yeah, patriotic songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely so. So before we go for a break, okay, so this is where I guess it's just a little bit more definition. The type of music that the orchestra plays. I guess it's pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Okay.
But name it, we did Bollywood, jazz.
We have classics back to the 60s, to the 70s. Yeah.
Across genres as well.
Across genres.
Yeah,
Right.
everything.
Right. Do you guys play? This is the golden question before we go for our first break. Do you guys play classic symphonic music?
Yes, we do. Sometimes we join the classical orchestras, collaborations. So that time we need to like prepare some classicals music. Yeah.
Right. And okay, okay. Now's a good time to go for a short break, right? So when we come back after this very short breaker, right, more with Michelle as well as Intan from Orchestra RTM on their professional lives as musicians, as well as music in general, and of course celebrating Orchestra RTM's 60th anniversary. Okay, so stay tuned right here on W Talk.
Have a stroll down the Teluk Kemang Beach and delight in the botanical treasure of Tanjung Tuan.
Port Dickson, Negeri Sembilan, 101.3 Traxx FM.
Welcome back to W Talk. It is a special 60th Orchestra RTM anniversary, as well as in conjunction with RTM's 75th anniversary as well. That official date, April 1st. Yeah, which is an interesting day, right? Here to talk more about their lives as musicians with the RTM Orchestra. With me, the lovely Intan, Rahayu, as well as the lovely Michelle Kong, who have been with the orchestra 15 plus years lah. Or just
close to 18.
Yeah, close to 18.
Very long time.
okay, right. I stand corrected, right? 18 years with the orchestra, and both actually, if you think about it, started your full-fledged professional life in music with Orchestra RTM.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty much, right? For Intan, it was out of UITM, and for Michelle, it was at a rather tender age of 17.
Yeah.
After SPM.
Before SPM,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and did they take you in full time?
That
At
time
that
was.
age? I think it was converted.
It was
later?
converted. Yeah,
Okay.
it was converted. A year, not even a year after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations, right? And you both are still with it, as with the orchestra. So it says a good deal about your talents, as well as I'm sure your proficiency with the violin. Okay. It's very interesting as well. Orchestra RTM staff and personnel used to be not in Wisma Radio, right? You guys used to be somewhere else, isn't it? But then after that, you relocated.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yes, to Wisma Radio, and that's when I started to see all these musician types emerging. Right, when I moved in and out of studio. Normally, you don't, right? You see radio personnel, presenters, DJs, producers, and then administrative staff. Right, we don't see any performers here besides the presenters. And then it's like, oh, wow, everyone looks artsy-fartsy. She looks like a performer. Must be, the orchestra has moved. To beware, just to fill you guys in, listening in and also watching us on Facebook, we are in the same vicinity now, so I always cross path with Michelle and also Intan and the rest of their colleagues as well. Yeah, but we're talking about music. We're talking about Orchestra RTM's function, right? And also the violin. You both play the violin, but do you also have to play other instruments? You have to back up your colleagues and all that, but you solely focus on the violin.
For me, I'm focusing on violins now, but I do. But outside job, I do some accompaniment for my students. I teach violin as well. I think that's all about it.
Right.
But I still keep taking classes myself to improve, because it's a I don't know, it's infinity to me. Learning,
Non-stop
non-stop learning.
It is what I've seen as a hallmark of true blue musicians, like those who continue with their craft. They say the same thing. It's like you never want to stop, you never want to stop learning. So whenever there's an opportunity to learn from whatever, whoever, maybe there's a visiting violinist in town, whatever,
Yes.
you'd be lining up to actually take the class and the master class and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yep.
I hear the same story reflected in musicians all the time, isn't it? What do you think are the key challenges that you face being an orchestra RTM? No challenge. Okay. Okay.
We do know which one to pick.
Some people will think it's a challenge,
Okay.
but some people will enjoy it. Like for us, because we enjoyed it, that's why we sustain.
We love the challenge.
Okay, and the challenge just you're referring to would be?
Although it will be okay. There's a time, so the performance, the concert will be
cram everything
yeah,
together.
crumpled together, and then there'll be this one time that we have 10 concert right after another, so that we had to cut one day of rehearsal so that we can catch the other concerts. So that was very tiring, but it's very, I know, it's very fruitful.
It's very fruitful. Basically, it's not in one place, that 10 concert, and we need to travel from KL to Johor, back to KL, and then to Kuantan.
Yeah, it's so exciting to catch the flight.
Wow.
You have to run to catch it.
That's when you have a series that's planned, a pre-planned series, where you suddenly have to do all these shows, and then they ask you to squeeze in one more somewhere and all that. Wow, that's exciting, right? So it's more of that logistics as well as the actual performance part.
Yeah, we experienced the shortest period is we need to perform in Kuching, Sarawak, and we are there until the performance, until we need to fly back to KL is less than 24 hours.
Right. It's a turnaround. It's like even more faster turnaround than some of the pop artists.
Yeah.
Right? They have everything with them, you know. They got everything else also taken care of. They just need to show up, do their thing, rehearse, leave. I guess a little bit like you all, but you've got to do more land transportation sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, what are some of the key memorable moments that you've had? I'm sure many in the past 17, 18 years.
There's been a lot.
Yeah. Any share with us a couple of highlights since it's the 60th as well, 60th birthday of Orchestra RTM.
Highlights on the shows.
The personal highlights.
Personal highlights.
Let me think one.
Oh.
Just jump in when you when a particular memory calls to you.
My most memorable one was my first show with RTM. I started when I don't know about anything about Orchestra RTMs, and I just got a call, and then I just need to come with a luggage. That time.
That was the instruction.
That was the instruction.
Please come with luggage because you're going somewhere. You have to pay somewhere. And that was how long after you joined?
That was my first show.
First show, so you had just joined. They took you in when you were 17.
I don't even see the admin yet.
Okay.
They just call, and then they said, okay, tomorrow we need you as a Omantis that time, and then we need to travel. Please be at the car park at I think it's around 9 a.m. that time, and we need to go to Penang.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to perform in Penang. That time is a concert Diraja road tour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have no choice but to get my uncle to fetch me. Yeah, because I don't know where is it about.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't know where RTM is.
Yeah.
And the whole works, right?
Yeah.
But how did your parents or uncle or whoever react to that? It's like that time you were 17.
Yeah.
You had not even finished SPM yet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then now the RTM's asking you to travel with them to Penang or whatever. How was it? How did your uncle or whoever your family members take that?
Okay, my dad was very supportive that time.
That's great.
Yeah. So basically, I haven't left the house before. Not traveling before that. I have no chance on traveling. So that was the first time, and I still remember. And then I was like kind of happy because at a teenage. So finally you can get out from the house.
And for good reason, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about RTM, the government and everything.
Yeah.
So obviously everything is very proper, nothing to worry about except maybe just your discomfort with all these things that
Yeah.
So everything went well, I'm sure, or exciting.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just my uncle's side lah. Yeah, because their age, and then for them musician is something not profitable. Something you are not going to do for life.
Right.
Yeah, so I need to change their perspective on that. Yeah, typical old thinking. So
okay. Yeah.
Time to time, after that they do accept what I'm doing. Yeah, which is kind of good lah.
Right, and I'm sure, ever since that memory, about 18 years ago, I'm sure lots of things have changed as well. That's a good one, and from your perspective at such a young age, Intan, your key memorable moments with the orchestra.
Now I remember my earliest first gig in RTM was we had to travel to Brunei, So I think that's the first time I met Michelle. Yeah, it's very fun and very scary because my first experience. I never know. I don't know anyone.
That was my first time on flight as well.
I'm not sure whether the first one, but it was very. Yeah, I can remember that until now because the best thing is we are given some privilege in Brunei, so we can explore the Jurudong Park.
Oh, okay. So you had a little bit of a tour. When you got
The
that.
tour. The orchestra, just the orchestra members and the musicians, artists, and dancers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with and up to today, we still have that very tight synergy between Radio Brunei, Radio TV Brunei, RTB, especially with RTM.
Yeah.
Right, so I can see that camaraderie, right, play out during your trip there. First time Brunei as well, right, for you back in that moment, Intan. Yeah. How has it been? I mean, there's so many things we can talk about, but just need to get these couple of aspects in since it's W Talk, right? Do you find that you need to balance your lives between your commitments to the orchestra and your own family, or it all sort of has worked out? Any particular thing you can share with us on this?
I have no problem. I think I devoted myself to it. But I'm single, so I have no problem. Maybe Michelle has more points on that.
Okay. Basically, I educate my family towards that. Yeah, especially my kids. I have 2 young kids. Yeah, so I teach them. Basically, I let them know what is your mommy is doing, and then your mommy is going away. I just let them know frankly, and then tell them the truth that mommy is not coming back home. There's no hiding, no nothing. So I'm very happy that my 2 kids understands what's the mommy doing, and then they take it very positively. Right. Yeah. So and they are happy when mommy is not around as well.
for some brief moments,
Yeah.
Roughly how often are you both on average out of town? I mean, pandemic aside, COVID-19 aside, under normal circumstances, and now again we're going to see more of that regularity come back when it comes to outstation performances, hopefully, soon, maybe by May or June or whatever. But before that, roughly how often would you have to be out of town and playing somewhere else?
At least once a month. That is once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it will get more busy towards the end of the year usually.
True.
That's
Sometimes
right.
we get the opportunity to go to Sarawak twice a year, so which is very enjoyable.
Yeah. Right. That's the part of life of a performer of any sort, right? When performance season comes around, that's when that you have to devote pretty much all your effort, time, and energy into that preparation, as well as for the actual performance as well. To the in a way, then you have to put everything else on the back burner, including family.
Yeah.
Right? But that's part of it. It's very it comes part and parcel with the career. As a musician, I have to say, right? With you both as women and as a female performers in the orchestra, do you see have you learned any lessons? Has it been a particular journey you've gone into when it comes to the music world? I would say, from my perspective, that when it comes to music and anything that's to do with the performing arts, there is definitely less of any sort of gender discrimination. That's just my perspective to things, because I have been in out of various performing art styles as well, from what I see. But then again, I'm male, so I have a different perspective. And you both also are working for an agency or the government in this case, but yet it's administrated in a very traditional way, right? Yeah. So any sort of insights you can share or opinions that you may have on this particular issue?
Basically, not much. It's just how we bring ourselves, how we carry ourselves. Yeah. So I'm very happy that when during the time that I enter orchestra, so they have a bunch of basically our seniors. So they are very sportive, and all these the colleagues are very sportive. So they are more to like our brothers that time. Yeah, who will take care of us and share with us the life journey, because I don't know about pop music. I don't know what's about musicians' life and all these things.
Right.
Hanging out at night after rehearsals, you need to eat. You're hungry and all these things. So I'm lucky to have them to guide us and then guide me, especially. So because I'm a teenager at times, so
Yeah.
I always remind myself that I can easily divert it into something which is not healthy, maybe.
Right.
So I remind myself that yes, you got to go straight. This is your journey, because you already stepped in, and then I go through it.
That's great. Yeah, that's a very unique journey, Michelle, that you've had.
Yeah.
I think with the orchestra so far. Intan, of course, you came from a supportive family background when it comes to music. Your dad was a musician himself, so when it came to that, I wouldn't assume that there were any issues. Right? But in your professional life with the orchestra, did you find that there may be still some gender stereotypes, like females are better on the violin,
Yeah, I kind
and
of
things like that?
I kind of agree with Michelle. So it depends on you. But I work in other orchestra before, which is TBKL. There were 70 of us, only 6 women.
6 women.
Yeah, here in orchestra only 5, I think.
We started with 5. We never been more than 10 actually.
Yeah,
Women. Yeah.
but no, should be no problem so far.
Right. I that's an interesting statistic as well. Since Intan, does have a background in statistics, right? Why are there so few? I mean, women playing in the orchestra, right? That's definitely something, food for thought, lah. Even though your experiences, correct me if I'm wrong, your experiences with the orchestra so far has been very positive, right? Just that, okay, we look at the equation here, something is not quite right with the gender balance.
Maybe females will go into education more sometimes. They prefer more steady life.
That's true. That's one possibility, yeah?
Yeah, that's one possibility.
Yes, because of the hectic life of
Yes.
orchestra routine. So you have to go back at irregular times. But sometimes you reach home at 12 and 1. So it's not-
Yesterday we reached home at 12:30.
yeah, we finish rehearsal at 11 something.
So that could be one contributing factor, right? Right. Definitely, something to think about as we wrap up today's session. Today we are celebrating our first RTM's 60th Orchestra RTM 60th anniversary in conjunction with RTM Malaysia's 75th overall, and getting in touch with both Michelle Kong as well as Intan Rahayu on their lives as violinists with ORTM. Right? So thank you so much for being with us. I've had a very lovely chat. Just a quick shout out to those on Facebook Live with us since the beginning, and I appreciate it. A big thanks to Patricia Lim, Elaine Kong, as well as to Dolly Sharma. Lots to say. Okay, well, let me read out some. Hi, Kong, you presented Intan and Michelle walking down memory lane for 60 wonderful years to RTM. Orchestra RTM. That's a nice one. Shirley, our regular listener and supporter.
Wow.
Yes, Dolly says, good morning to all beautiful, lovely ladies. Proud to be women. Really awesome jobs you do. Love the Bollywood music you did.
Wow.
She's been listening to you both and the orchestra. Happy 60th Orchestra RTM anniversary. We learned a lot from you both. That's also a nice thought, right? As we wrap up today's W Talk, any final comments? Any things you'd like to share with our listeners before we wrap up?
Yeah, to young musician out there, just keep going, don't give up. Yeah, just grow your passion, because passion is like a strong root. Yeah, keep growing under. So you keep going.
I think that's a good one as well. And like I was saying in the early part of the interview, that's a common theme I hear from all committed musicians. You do have to be passionate about it. You have to be hardworking and continuously just keep playing the instrument.
Keep walking, keep
Right.
going.
They keep going.
Yeah, gender is not an issue as long as you love what you are doing now. Yeah, so just face it and don't feel down when all your colleagues are guys or whatever. We only have few friends, women around. So keep going and be with friends. Can't beat them, you join them.
Well said. Okay. Well, thank you so much to you both, right? Intan, Rahayu, as well as Michelle Kong, are both violinists with Orchestra RTM. Happy 18th, years for you both with the orchestra. Happy 60th for the orchestra, and
Thank
of course
you so
for
much.
all of us, we're celebrating RTM's 75th overall. Right? Thank you so much to both of you as we wrap up W Talk. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
And,
you for having us.
You're welcome. It was a lovely chat. And thank you for being with us. If you join us either on air or live on Facebook, we appreciate it as we sign out of the show today. In the meantime, I'll be back after the quick news updates with the second half of today's Traxx Momentum. So make sure you keep it tuned right here on Traxx.
Experience the excitement. Right here.
Right here.
Right here on Traxx FM.